So, I reluctantly watched Bridgerton at my cousin's recommendation. Typically, we like the same shows. I'll tell you why it was a reluctant watch for me. Firstly, I had never heard of the books Bridgerton, nor had I heard of the author. Secondly, I didn't recognize any of the actors. Right now, I'm watching Ozark, but I like Jason Bateman. I'm a fan of his dry sense of humor. Thirdly, I'm not a fan of period pieces. Typically, period pieces are not a good look for black people. However, when she told me that it was a Shondaland production, then I became intrigued because Shonda equals scandal. Shonda equals Olivia Pope. So then I started the series. As a viewer of the show, I immediately appreciated how beautiful and vibrant the colors of the sets and the gowns were. Visually, it was all stunning to look at. As a black female viewer, I absolutely appreciated seeing these beautifully diverse people coexisting peaceably. Imagine that. Lady Danbury and Lady Bridgerton are trying to set up Daphne and the Duke. We're just people. Nobody's talking about race. Black people are dancing on the dance floor. We're not the servants. We're not the cooks. This is nice. And I'm thinking, are we not seeing race, or are we seeing race and appreciating it for what it is, but then nobody cares, which is even cooler? Either way, I'm in. You have this man on a horse. I'm shallow. I'm in. We have two black queens, Queen Charlotte and Lady Danbury, who is also a whole entire queen. I am fully buying this fantasy, this Regency world that they're selling. So let's get to the point of this video. At this point, we've met Daphne and her family. We've met the Featheringtons. And then we meet Miss Marina Thompson, who is the only female of color that is a debutante in the wedding season. Marina is a relative of the Featheringtons. She goes to these balls. The men there think that she's beautiful, and she gains a number of suitors in episode 1. Marina's good fortune does not last long, because in episode 2, we find out that Marina has a little secret. Marina is knocked up, aka she's with child, and she is not wed, which is a big, huge issue in this era. Lady Featherington decides that Marina's circumstance is so dire that Marina needs to marry a man, any man, ASAP. And then this scene happens.
Her needlework is divine. And of course she sings and plays the pianoforte very prettily.
Show me a smile, girl.
I beg your pardon.
Your teeth. I want to see them. Is she simple-minded?
Goodness, no. Oh, you are droll. Miss Thompson, show Lord Rutledge your lovely smile. Miss Thompson?
Tell a lot from a person's mouth. Soldier's teeth, taken from the battlefield. Cost a pretty penny, let me tell you. Try her out in company. See how she acquits herself.
Of course.
Due to slavery. Briskly back and forth while customers would feel our hands and arms and bodies. Make us open up our mouths and show our teeth, precisely as a jockey examines a horse.
This scene triggered a negative memory from my childhood, having to watch the miniseries Roots when I was a young girl. And all I could think was how in 2020, when this show was released, did this scene make it to the final cut? Like, of all the writers and the producers and the directors, hell, even the cast, the damn lighting people, the camera crew, damn craft services, nobody thought this is giving slave auction block vibes and we should probably take this out. We should probably scale this back. Show me your teeth? Really? In 2020? I was not mentally prepared for that scene. I mean, I didn't see Daphne show her teeth to anyone. I didn't see Penelope or her sisters or Cressida. I didn't see anybody else requested to show their teeth, so I wasn't thinking that that was a thing. I mean, I am watching this show with a teacup full of Moscato with my pinky out in this fantasy Regency world, and I wasn't ready. I tell you what it made me think about. Do you all remember that scene on the movie Pretty Woman when Julia Roberts' character is accompanying Richard Gere's character to one of his work events, and she's dressed like a lady and she's mingling and she's having a great time, and a man comes up to her and makes a proposition, and she is taken off guard at this man even knowing what she did for a living. So she doesn't talk to Richard Gere's character all the way back to the hotel, and when they get up to their room, he finally asks her what is wrong and why is she not talking to him. And she looks at him and she says, "Why did you make me get dressed up if you were going to tell everybody what I did?" She said, "When I am in my clothes," and her clothes are her thigh-high patent leather boots with her super mini skirt, with her crop top and her blonde bob wig with her taxi cab driver hat. She's like, when I am in my clothes, I am prepared for when men come up and say inappropriate things. You know, she's ready for propositions. She's ready for women to look at her with judgy eyes and make snide comments. When she is in her clothes, she is mentally prepared for the bullshit, is essentially what she was saying. And that's how I felt when that scene came on, because I don't watch slave movies, documentaries. Listen, I watched it when I was a child. I got it. So if I am going to engage in something like that, I mentally prepare myself for the bullshit that I'm about to see. I rewatched this scene after I cleared my mind and tried to remove all of my background and just see what everybody else saw when they watched this. And I still see a young female being humiliated and disgusted by this old nasty ass man that is circling her, looking at her like she's a rental car that he is assessing the exterior for damages before he drives it off the lot. And the background music, why are they playing this whimsical music like this is funny? It's all beyond me. I was just wondering, did anybody else see it? Let's end this video on a high note. Here are my closing thoughts about Bridgerton. First of all, Daphne, girl, you are silly. If I were you, I'm marrying the prince. Period. Here's why. He is smart. He is kind. He is well-mannered. He is stable. He is cute. And most importantly, he wants the same thing that you want. He wants to be a father and a husband, and you want to be a wife and a mother. Y'all have the same goals and objectives. I think that when people are immature, they confuse chaos and drama with passion, when really it's just good old-fashioned incompatibility. let's move on to Penelope. My whole thing with Penelope is I would not have burned down my whole house just to smoke Marina out. I would have simply gone into Marina's room and told her, I heard your plan to deceive Colin, and the Bridgertons are my friends. Eloise is my best friend, and I'm not going to let you deceive him. So here are your options. A, you can tell Colin that you are pregnant. Or B, I will tell Colin that you are pregnant. Or C, you can keep your secret safe, but pick another dude. It would have been nice to see Lady Featherington show Marina some compassion. After all, Lady Featherington is a mother and she has daughters around the same age as Marina. And from Daphne's uneducation about, her own reproductive organs, I think it stands to reason that Marina was not educated either as far as how a woman's reproductive organs work. And so it would have been nice to see Lady Featherington show Marina some compassion at some point. Daphne could have easily been in the same position Marina was in had she not had a very watchful older brother come and break up her shenanigans with the Duke in the garden, okay? It was about to go down in the garden, and then Daphne would have been in the same situation Marina was in. So just some compassion for the fact that y'all know these girls weren't educated on how their bodies work. It would have been nice to see. One more thing about Marina. I think we can all agree that she had the most tragic plot line. And all I'm saying to Hollywood is that Daphne can have a happy ending and Marina can have a happy ending. Marina's happy ending does not negate or cancel or cost Daphne her happy ending in any way, shape, or form. I was so disappointed when Sir Philip came up and he wasn't George. I was so disappointed for Marina. I'm like, man, this girl cannot catch a break. And then I was like, what if they would have cast one of these men to be Sir Philip, riding up on a horse and telling Marina that he wanted to marry her and make her an honorable woman. I wanted one of them to come through the door and say, I'm sorry to report the grim news that George is dead, but I'm his twin brother and I want to marry you. I think as an audience, we would have understood fully how Marina got into her situation, and B, we would have been like, Marina, you need to get your ass off your shoulders and go with that man. Marina's sitting there talking about, I don't know this man, I don't love this man. And I'm like, girl, that's null and void. You see Lady Featherington trying to give you to Lord Rutledge, right? I'm gonna need you to go with Sir Philip, please. Overall, I really enjoyed Bridgerton, and I was so glad that I watched it. I mean, everything was so pretty. The set was so pretty. The gowns were so pretty. The Duke was so pretty. Will was so pretty. The Prince was so pretty. And I didn't talk about my favorite guy on the show. Hold up, before I close this video out. Colin Bridgerton was my absolute favorite guy on the series. Colin, let me tell you, Colin had character, he had integrity, morals, values, discipline. Listen, when Cressida spilled her drink on Penelope's dress and he made sure to dance with Penelope, I was like, I think I love Colin. And then when Marina tried to seduce him when they were alone, and she's like, we're alone in here, and Colin told her, I don't want to dishonor you. You're a lady and I'm not going to dishonor you, even though I'm tempted to. I like how he worded that. I'm telling y'all, Colin is my favorite. Also, when he told her that I would still marry you had you just told me, had you been honest with me, I would have still married you. I'm like, Colin is the real MVP. So I'm looking forward to season 2.